te uniformas para reprimirnos. A gente que defiende árboles, que defiende el oxígeno, el único pulmón de toda Asunción.
Love, isn't it? It's all about love, at least.
Yeah.
Trees, nature, traffic.
Y ustedes felices con un sueldo de mierda, cagados de calor, les obligan a taparse la cara, a reprimir. Ustedes de ese lado, uniformados.
It's all about love, isn't it? It's all about love.
Welcome to Asunción, Paraguay's capital city. Upon arriving in the concrete jungle, I was introduced to Asunción's Botanical Garden and Zoo. In the past, this estate used to cover 600 hectares, but today it is 110 hectares. So in the past 50 years, this has been reduced to this size. In the Botanical Gardens, there was a planned construction project to build a road bridge, a viaduct, along the border of the park. It would require expanding the road about 6 meters into the Botanical Gardens and a loss of 1.5 hectares of the garden. The idea was that the road bridge would reduce backed up traffic and create a bike path from different parts of Asunción to the Botanical Gardens. Due to the fact that around 400 trees would be cut down, a group of protesters started camping out in the Botanical Gardens, attempting to put a stop to the construction in order to save the trees and pursue alternative methods to the viaduct. So right now we're driving into the Botanical Gardens of Asunción. The police have blocked off major sections right now of this area. At least we're going to check this place out and we're going to show you how beautiful it is. A lot of people consider this the lungs of Asunción. So in terms of this city, this is the largest park that's here. So these guys come walking here every day?
Sí.
Cada día.
Todos los días.
Pero, ¿qué piensan acerca del proyecto? ¿Es necesario?
Yo al menos estoy a favor de ello, ¿verdad?
Sí.
No, él está en contra, parece.
Yo no estoy en contra de el viaducto, ¿verdad? Pero hay que hacer. Pero a mí lo que no me gusta es, por ejemplo, la gente, estos protestan acá y el Chaco paraguayo se está depredando, ¿verdad? Y ahora más allá vino el incendio, ¿verdad?
Sí.
¿Conoce?
Sí. Allá
Y
por
nadie se va a protestar, pero acá por un pedacito, para acá se tranca toda la mañana.
Por la distancia para allá, pues.
No importa.
Entonces, ¿deberían protestar entonces o no? Porque si por lo menos eso se puede hacer, se puede salvar por lo menos una hectárea.
Pero no va a salvar, ellos no van a salvar.
No podemos ir un rato.
Sí, vamos.
They're filming the cops.
Yeah, the ABC color.
Yeah, ABC color. I don't know who's there, but they're like right there, taking all the attention from like the cops and like creating all the atmosphere of fear or whatever. We're here painting.
Yeah.
And then she had this great idea of actually doing an artistic activity that could be different and that could invite people in a peaceful way to come over and protest by making art. So this is what we're doing.
And so they want to do this viaduct here, and we are resisting against the government and the police who came all the last week in 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. We were like 20 people and they were like 50 cops. This construction company, they have presented a project that was a tunnel underground, and when the government gave them permission to do that, they changed the whole project and moved it to a viaduct that is more expensive. We had this company doing another project that never got finished. That is the Metrobus.
How long do you guys plan on staying here then, indefinitely?
Till we win. We have no plans.
And what does winning look like to you?
To have an alternative project, like going back to the tunnel or have a better proposal from another company, maybe.
Why does this matter to you?
I came here because I didn't feel well being in my bed and knowing the Amazon was burning and the north of Paraguay was burning. They asked for fire workers to be there, and not anyone can go and help because you have to have the instructions, the equipment, and to be able to help. And so I'm helping here with talking to people, talking to you, talking to everyone on the streets, on the bus, in my house, my friends, and wanting everyone to be here to help.
Gracias, Katia. See you soon, I think. So we might be sticking around here. So thanks for talking to. So when I drove through the city with my friend Radar, you could actually understand why some people have hesitations with new construction projects. Large parts of the current Metro bus line were simply slabs of concrete in the center of the road. They've been sitting like this for multiple years without being completed, showing that corruption and poor management can infiltrate both public and private construction projects. So among the requests of the protesters, one was for better public transit and finishing the Metro bus stations that were supposed to already have been completed. So they started pouring cement.
Yes, it's a big hole. I have it here in the video. We told them, show us the order, the paper that you can do this, and they don't have it, and they're still doing it.
Estados Unidos.
Sí. Estoy como fiscal del proyecto.
So he's an engineer right here. Coine?
Sí,
Coine. And he's the prosecutor. Or a prosecutor is like a person who's in charge of like legal aspects. He's representing the Ministry of Public Works, of Infrastructure, and he's here to supervise the work here.
Hay que admitir, hay que ser sincero, cualquier actividad humana y más todavía la envergadura de este tipo de construcciones tiene su impacto en el medio ambiente. Cualquier actividad nueva de eso. Dentro de eso, ese plan, la mitigación prevé el traslado de los árboles. Y aún así vamos a replantar los árboles. Sabes que por un árbol se replanta 10 árboles. Sí. Eso está previsto. Ya van a ser reutilizados. El Jardín tiene un plan para reutilizar esos árboles. Sí. La transferencia de 32 hectáreas de la propiedad que pertenece al Estado paraguayo va a ser anexado al Jardín Botánico.
¿Esa propiedad tiene ya bosque o es así?
No, bosque natural.
¿Tiene bosque?
Sí, bosque natural.
En el fondo ahí mismo.
Sí. A simple vista no se ve la separación del Jardín Botánico con esa área, ¿verdad? Hay una valla y eso es lo que se va a integrar. Seguramente se adelanta esa valla y se va a hacer la municipalidad.
Does the construction company have a permit for doing this? The protesters were saying that they don't have a permit, so they were wanting to look for documentation.
La única pregunta es, la construcción acá tiene todos los permisos y todo eso, ¿verdad? Porque ahí los protestantes estaban diciendo...
tenemos.
Los manifestantes.
El último permiso que tuvimos fue de la Secretaría de Cultura.
Sí.
Como es una zona histórica,
Sí.
necesitamos el protocolo, se presentó el protocolo, fue aprobado y ahí ellos comunicaron a la municipalidad que el protocolo está aprobado. Ahí recién la municipalidad dio la autorización para intervenir. El diseño del túnel no soluciona nuestro problema del tráfico. ¿Por qué? Porque va a ser un paso tipo trompeta, ¿no? Uno va a pasar, sí, es que está libre, pero está el tránsito que viene de ese valle pues también.
Sí.
Uno. Segundo, el problema para la construcción no se previó. Ahí tenemos las 3 autoras principales de abastecimiento de agua potable para Asunción, está en ese nudo.
Ah, sí, la de SAP y todo.
Sí, tenemos que entrar en otro proyecto.
Es 1,5 metros de diámetro, ¿verdad? Grande,
Son aductoras
grande. Que cruza todo el proyecto gigante.
Déjame, voy a producir.
Son aductoras. Está todo acá. Acá está la referencia que
Entonces, todo el agua de Asunción realmente pasa por esta zona.
Sí, todo.
So almost all of Asunción's water supply is in this area. This is a knot of it.
Underground.
Like it's just really hard to move around that much of that resources. You have this street, you have this street, and it's all bottling up into this.
Sure. So there's two major highways that are 4 lanes, both that go to some of the northern areas of Paraguay, and they connect into a 2-lane road. So it bottles up a lot of traffic because of that. So it is definitely the time to do something about this, because you have 8 lanes of traffic merging into 2 lanes of traffic, which is really difficult to manage.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Nosotros pensamos que no venía también para atropellarnos, pero ellos se están informando. Que ya recibieron una campana.
So maybe
La otra campana.
I still think it's lamentable that they're going to have to do what they're going to do. But at this point, I really don't see any way that's going to change. The permits are all there. The alternative of the tunnel does not seem remotely sustainable. They seem to be, at least on paper, going to be giving back more than they're taking.
Correct.
So the Riverside Costanera, or the Riverside Highway, which goes all the way from the Bay of Asunción to not too far from here, is one of the places where people go regularly to go bicycling, to experience nature and like get away from driving and stuff like that, de-stressing. And so it makes sense to connect that bicycle lane and highway with the botanical gardens, because that's a beautiful place to actually do that as well. So it's going to be a great thing if they can actually connect the botanical with the Costanera. So I don't know how much more I'm supporting that protest. In everything considered, they're late. They're late. This is already moving forward.
I don't think there's anything halting these construction projects. So I think what's going to happen is, if they end up sort of standing in the line of the construction process in a way that it jeopardizes the safety of everybody involved, the construction company and they themselves, I think it might even come to potentially to an arrest.
You're right next to the nest right there. See, there's that black spot right there.
They're biting ants.
Time to keep exploring.
So, walking through the botanical gardens, and there's a jacare. So there's a caiman sitting right in front of us, and it's sunning itself. So I think I'm going to be able to get really close.
Scared it away!
I was not scaring it
Yes,
away.
you did.
I
It
did not
was
scare-
fine until you got here.
I was here the whole time.
Oh my God.
I was here the whole time. So this is the old house of Carlos Antonio Lopez. He was the first president of Paraguay, although president was just kind of the title he used. He was actually basically a dictator, but you know, president for life. Yeah, it's one of the most historical landmarks, biggest historical landmarks in the Botanical. Yeah, this was built in 1840 during his presidency.
We have something amazing to show you about mangoes.
It's just so funny, the whole
Uvagu.
Yeah.
Plata uvagu. Oh, that's so hard, man. Plata uvugu. This is a mango tree. Most people think, I would guess, based on their experiences in South America and in Paraguay, that mango trees were native. They weren't native to this place. And what's crazy about the botanical gardens in Asunción, Paraguay, is that mango trees were first introduced here. So this is the origin point of mango trees throughout all of Paraguay. And that is a mango tree. We'll show you a rapid tour of the botanical zoo, and we'll meet some animals, and I will make some new friends. Okay, so we are right here. This is a buffer zone. This is the main forest, basically the heart of the botanical gardens. And here, not on this map, is the 32 hectares that they are transferring to the botanical garden.
We're not supposed to go this way. It's restricted access, but whatever.
The park space has been cleared to make room for pedestrians and for the general public being able to be in open fields there. But this is what it originally looks like. Like, they could have preserved much more areas like this in the development of the city than they did. This is the quietest place in the city.
This is what they want to see. This is what they want to see, nature. They want to see what Paraguay used to be like, or what it, the nature, the jungle, all that stuff, animals and the sounds of the forest. And no one, I've never heard anyone tell them to come here. I didn't even know this existed until I came here.
– 100% hear a big group of capuchin monkeys.
Hurry up, hurry up.
know they were coming. And then we started seeing them, people, policemen, engineers, and coming here, and they're putting this wall that separates the trees from us. We're protecting the trees and they're separating them from us. And they say they want to start work today at night.
So basically it seems like the protesters will have 48 hours to move to a different part of the premises or leave the premises entirely. Other than that, they're beginning to cut down some of the trees now, and construction will be further underway.
Mi sangre voy a derramar sobre esta tierra. Paraguayan no vivimos ay ave y vamos a luchar con todo.
Pero realmente vale la pena morir por una hectárea.
No vamos a morir, pero es una forma de decir que vamos a resistir, no vamos a quedarnos a llorar acá por ello y vamos a levantar todo lo que podemos hacer. Así que no.
Y después de eso, cuando se termine la construcción, ¿qué pasa?
Y vamos a morirnos de calor, no va a haber oxígeno, vamos a comprar oxígeno, ya no vamos.
Prácticamente.
Ya no es prácticamente.
No. Bueno, ¿cuál es el plan?
No hay plan, yo no tengo el plan, ellos pueden ser que tengan el plan, pero yo no tengo.
Entonces, una vez que termine la construcción acá, nunca más se va a hacer ninguna actividad acá en el Botánico.
¿Y qué vamos a hacer acá? Nosotros estamos con miedo de que estos vengan a pegarnos acá. ¿A ustedes lo utilizan para qué? Para robar a la gente. No solo plata, también oxígeno ahora.
Also, to claim that this is that everyone who is a policeman is fascist is a little bit exaggerated too.
Obviamente la gente que vive hacia Mariano Roque Alonso, que vive hacia Limpio, está en contra de este proyecto porque el MOPC instala con la Municipalidad de Asunción, propagandiza de que la obra va a resolver el problema de tránsito y la gente quiere que se resuelva el problema de tránsito. La gente trabaja todos los días y quiere que exista el viaducto para poder llegar más temprano a su trabajo y de su trabajo a su casa, porque anda estresada todo el día por la sobreexplotación, problema que tiene que ver hasta con la calidad del transporte público. No es, el viaducto no es una solución. Una cosa es este caso concreto. Si vamos por este caso concreto, obviamente estamos perdiendo. Por otro lado, yo no lo vería como una derrota porque lo esencial es instalar y desenmascarar a la rosca mafiosa que está involucrada en estos negocios de empresas contratistas, las constructoras, las empresas cementeras en las que está involucrada el mismo presidente de la República. O sea, la roca es difícil de parar.
¡El botánico no!
Alright, so I actually want to recap some of the things that happened after I stayed in the Botanical Garden. So basically the construction went according to plan, which was no surprise to Radar and I. Also, as we predicted, the tensions built up into multiple arrests. In my opinion, these confrontations have a lot to do with the methodology of the protesters. They go to the Botanical Gardens, they create a scene, they interfere with the construction company and with the police, therefore provoking the police to have to respond or to do something with them. Sometimes the police overreact and it builds up into unnecessary aggression and violence. So when I watched closely in the videos that I was sent by the protesters, they are also hitting the police officers and getting in their faces as well. So these are not one-sided confrontations, but often this happens a lot for their group, is they create this drama and then they make it look like they have been the victim. And what's crazy to me is that quite a few news organizations in Paraguay ate this up and they played right into this. And you'd have this very, very dramatic, very serious music, and then you would literally have the worst images of the confrontations between the police and the protesters, the ones that were the most visceral. This type of news actually really bothers me, and I don't think it's very productive. So at the end of the day, I think what matters most is talking about the specific details about the project. So in general, you have a loss of 1.5 hectares of land. I think there are bigger battles facing the world than this area, than the Botanical in Asunción. I don't think this is a story that requires a lot of international attention. But here I am talking about it. Many of the protesters who were there, though, were also protesting the fires in the Chaco and in the Amazon, which affects much more land than what we're seeing in the Botanical in Paraguay. Concerning the protesters, in my opinion, I think there are more diplomatic ways to advocate for green space in public parks. I did enjoy my time while I was with them. They had some really great community projects that they did in the Botanical. They had yoga, meditation. They did some cleanup projects in the park as well. Asunción doesn't have a lot of green spaces like this, so it is a really beautiful place to go visit. I did see capuchin monkeys in this actual city park, which was a surprise for me, but was very fun. Anyways, this story had a lot of political drama. So I wasn't able to capture the nuances perfectly, but thanks for coming along this adventure. Hope you learned something, and I hope to take you on another adventure soon. Ciao.